can intestinal health be evaluated? The first sign of dysfunction or dysbacteriosis will be an increase in water consumption. Therefore, it's critical the water consumption is recorded every day. Modification of the droppings is also easy to assess. Here, dry intestinal droppings with a cap of urates, and here, fecal droppings. During a postmortem of a healthy gut, the height of the villi should be over 2 mm for optimal absorption of the nutrients. To improve gut health, we need to consider multiple factors such as water and feed quality, feed management, cleaning and disinfection process during the downtime. Poor management of coccidiosis immunity is the most critical cause of gut diseases. In this video, I propose assessing gut health on the farms. Every detail will help us to evaluate and take action. First, we need to record the data of the flock, its number, its age, its rate of morbidity and mortality. Afterwards, we will evaluate aspects of intestinal and fecal droppings and the feed passage. Let's see a few examples. This dropping looks shiny, glittering due to a high level of undigested fat. Undigested pieces of corn in droppings signify a fast feed passage and a malassimilation of the nutrients. Poorly formed droppings like this foamy fecal or watery intestinal droppings signify a disruption of the microbiome and dysbacteriosis. Many other lesions can be observed, such as hemorrhagic fecal droppings, green diarrhea in acute septicemic disease, excess mucus, worms, etc. Another critical point is to observe the birds. During the first days of life, past events highlight metabolism issues due to a poor transition between yolk and feed digestion. It can also be a consequence of high temperatures in hatchers during transport in the house, or high level of sodium and potassium in the diet. Dirty feathers, pododermatitis can be triggered by poor litter due to diarrhea. From time to time, gut leakage is not the cause of wet litter, but poor ventilation, poor litter, or poor water line management. That brings us to the environment of the chickens. Look at the litter. A moisture meter can be used to assess it in different areas. As mentioned, the volume of consumed water should be recorded as well as water quality using an ORP meter at the end of the water line. A poor transition between two different formulas or the same formula with different raw materials can lead to dysbacteriosis. Wet litter should be assessed and differentiated from poor ventilation. This is why it's also essential to record airspeed, relative humidity, and bird behavior. Keep in mind that the primary goal of the ventilation is to remove humidity from the house and decrease the chicken's body temperature. The second part of the assessment is the postmortem. The lesions are recorded. Their location, from the duodenum to the ceca, will help us in coccidiosis outbreaks, for example. The height of the villi. The aspect of the intestine, if the intestine is ballooned or not, for instance. What are the contents of the gizzard? And the list is not complete. For example, in the cases of dysbacteriosis or enterotitis, diverse lesions are observed, such as mucus, inflammation, blood, flaccidity, thickness, water contents, and necrotic lesions. If you have further questions, feel free to contact us and visit our website.